After a long gap, we are in front of each other. Today, I wish to explain all the equations that in general by which we can explain our universe, and regarding this we have no hesitation to say that science deals with a microscopic as well as a microscopic change. This change is very minute or major and explains many other system or other model of any unit or anything. There are many circumstances for a single change. Mathematics itself is known for the changing circumstances and for a well restricted change. In our general consideration, we can consider the following equations which are responsible for the general change of our academic and traditional style of humanity. These equations start with Bodhain-Pythagoras theorem, in which under separate significances of symbols h square equals to p square plus b square, and in continuation with we can also explain it as h square minus b square is equal to p square, or h square minus p square is equal to b square, where h for hypotenuse, p for perpendicular, and b for base for a right angled triangle. The second important concept is the invention of logarithmic function. If we have to consider the decimal application or any hard unit of numbers or numerals, then we are at the near of John Napier, and John Napier also made common the use of decimal point in arithmetic and for the other branch of science. The third important invention or third important equations are related with calculus, and this calculus deals with derivatives and integrals. Undoubtedly, derivatives and integrals are the pillaring impacts for any scientific creation. Almost everything that we do today in mathematics, physics, and any other science, also in general in our computer field, some way or the other involves derivatives, integrals, tangent, normals, area, quadrature, etc. Any derivative measures the ratio at which the quantity is subject to a change. The fourth important equation was the governing equation of the world, and in the word of Sir Isaac Newton, there is something. This syllable of words was put before Sir Isaac Newton, and the equation of the universal gravitation is one of the greatest equations in science. Sir Isaac Newton postulated for this equation that all matter in the universe is attracted to all other matter. Especially, the law describes how the force of gravity depends on the mass of each object and the distance between their centers. Of course, it was rectified by Dr. Albert Einstein also, in which gravitation was defined under a separate fashion. The fifth important thing was that one can consider if the equation x square minus 1 equals to 0, then the two values of x will be plus 1 and minus 1. It is very easy to consider that the two values of x will imply that the equation can be considered as a quadratic equation. In our special explanation, we can say that this is a pure quadratic equation. However, if we can think over x square plus 1 is equal to 0, then the value of x square is equal to root over minus 1. And of course, it was one of the greatest achievements that to find the square root of minus 1, and for this root over minus 1 was considered to be I, that is for I square is equal to minus 1, and was frequently used for imaginary part. The sixth important unit was polyhedral formula. Polyhedral formula is also known as Euler's formula. In this formula, we can say that in a convex 3D polyhedron, capital B plus capital F minus E is equal to 2, where B stands for number of vertices, F stands for number of faces, and D stands for number of edges. One of the greatest example of the polyhedral is the pyramids in Egypt's Ecaplatonic solids. The seventh is normal distribution. It is the general formula for the probability and especially related to probability density function of normal distribution. The eighth is for particle physics, and that is a formula to derive from the wave equation with the correct change of variables and simple integration, that is u I RE is equal to a square u xx. One of the important and remarkable formula is Fourier transformation or Fourier transform. Fourier transformation is the generalization of the Fourier series. The 10th is Navier-Stokes equation. Navier-Stokes equation is the equation in fluid mechanics. This equation represents the conservation of momentum and is used to predict fluid velocity and its pressure in given geometry. This states that the stress on a fluid is equal to the sum of the viscous term and the pressure term. But the practical application of this equation does not consist as the existence of 3D solution, that is three-dimensional solution. 11th is Maxwell's equation. These equations are just like the laws of universal gravity. These equations are rules the universe uses to govern the behaviors of electric and magnetic field. And the revolutionary formula is from the theory of relativity, which is a monumental part of our scientific thoughts. a very famous mass energy equivalence relation. Capital E is equal to a small m into a square of a small c, change the classical trend of the model of the universe. Of course, in view of Einstein, mass is considered as the energy and energy is mass, means both can be transferred into each other. Of course, c square is just a conveniently memorable conversion factor. The important part is capital E is equal to small m. The 14th equation is Schrodinger's equation. Schrodinger's equation describes quantum mechanical behavior. It is a PDE that describes how the wave function of a system evolves over time. The 15th formula is about information entropy. Information entropy is a concept drawn from information theory, which states how much information there is in an event. In general, the more uncertain or uneven the event is, the more information it will contain. Of course, this is very important formula for our MCA course, and in computer field this formula is used frequently. The 16th formula is Chavez theory. According to Chavez theory, the population level at any given time is a function of the growth rate parameter and the previous time steps population level. And that of the 17th is Black-Scholes equations. This is a well complicated equation based on the properties of the derivative and related complexities. This equation helps financial professionals to calculate the value of the financial products. These 17 equations are frequently used to give our changing position in our status, in our living unit, or in our changing world. Of course, change is the special character or special behavior of our universe. Universe is expanding rapidly. Universe is expanding continuously. We all are under a process of a change. Our thinking is also of different attitude in each and every time. Therefore, equations state the story of change of the unit and the story of change. That's over. Our next consideration will be in our next episode. Thank you.